How y'all doing again? I'm over here at work and I want to show you some more of the cars that we have here that I've worked on and gotten running. I think I've worked on just about every car in this lot here. I did an earlier video on the cars that we're working on as project cars, and let me give you a look-see of the rest of them. All right, I'm not even going to try to tell you what year these things are. We'll just sort of scan it and let you see. This is at my work, and these are cars that have come in here and they were dead once, and I got them running. And I have to keep them running for whatever that's worth. And we'll walk around the cars a little closer. This here's an Oakland. And that was a hoot. That came in as a something somebody was going to throw away. All right, so let me get down and do a quick walkthrough. Okay, because these cars are rough. They're basically yard drivers. He doesn't go very far. They all run. Everything in here runs. Like I said, they're yard drivers. He doesn't drive them anywhere to speak of. This is a 48 Chrysler. Cool car. It's not too bad. Body-wise, it's hard to see. It's a little bit of a cave in here. The lights won't come on. Guess he didn't pay the electric bill or something. A couple MGs. Fiat. And I don't know what that is up there. A Fiero or something. Not, I know it's not a Pontiac. It's some other trick car. This is a Chrysler New Yorker. That runs good. And this here's a Packard. I can't get very far away. There's just not enough room in here. And I think this is a big old girl here. Crown Vic or something. It runs good. This one's sort of a sore lemon. It's a Galaxy 70, something. Yeah, I think. It's got hideaway headlights. 66, 67, maybe a 68, 69, somewhere in that neighborhood. We put a convertible top on it here. My first attempt of putting a convertible on. Oh boy, my camera's not going to focus. There you go. Boy, this is a slow act. Sorry about the video. It sucks. But it is what it is. And this one here he brought had no engine in it. And I just grabbed an engine that was sitting over in the corner. It was close. It has a 318. And this thing had some other kind of V8 in it. It was a real early 318. But nothing would interchange. Nothing. So I had to make everything work in it. You make it transmission mounts, and I just made it out of a big old piece of steel, and motor mounts out of a Yugo, and I mean just a little bit of everything. But hey, it's running and driving. He likes it. Says it's got a lot of power compared to what it would originally. I think this is a Dodge. Yeah. The Dodge, that runs okay. And this Packard here, this thing, is a 37. I think it's a 37 Packard. I think that's what it is. Now this came here with a engine that was all taken apart, missing all the pieces. So I said, get me a long block or an engine somewhere and we'll go through it. And he found an engine at a junkyard. This has a straight 8 in it that they said was part of the road. It was actually buried under the road at a junkyard. It was all dirt and dirt roads, but they put engines and things to tighten the road up. So when they run equipment over, it wouldn't sink in the ground. So they pulled this engine out of the ground and brought it to us, and it looked like it just did come out of the ground. No ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, it was horrible. And I was trying to, what do you want me to do with this? Take it apart. See if you can get it apart. So I worked on it for about 2 weeks, and I took it apart, and believe it or not, well, you can't see nothing in there, but I got it pieced back together enough, and without sending it to the machine shop, we did everything in-house. I cleaned up everything, and you can imagine how nasty it was. And I've done that on a couple of vehicles. So the Oakland, all the way in the back, same way. It was just, I had to sandblast the engine just to get the rust off of it, to get it apart. There was nothing I could do. But I got it apart, worked on it for a little while, cleaned everything up the best I could, put it back together with some new parts, very few new parts, and there it is. It's driving. It's been done for, I guess I did that 6-7 years ago. About the same time I did the Oakland back there. It's a 1930 Oakland with a V8 in it. I mean, they were horrible. If anybody else would have, you wouldn't even have put it inside a shop. So it just shows you that if you can get it apart and get it cleaned up enough, it might not be the cheapest thing to do in the world, but you can do something with it. And this is a good running car. This is a Chrysler 300. Yeah. And this is actually one of the cars I really like. This car, out of all the cars he has, yeah, that thing runs good. Now these cars sit, and every one of them have got something in them besides gasoline. I mean, it's not even, it's almost kerosene. The gas is so bad, and I have to worry about that all the time. But it's working. Just barely. I'm always fighting it. This is a Thunderbird that I had. I had this one for a while, and I traded it to him for a paint job. He did all grip work on my boat, which I am going to make some videos, or they're videos that are already out, but I'm going to put them on the YouTube channel for you guys to laugh at. On a boat that I did. I worked on it for 20 years, and you can see just how bad it was. When I got towards the end of the boat, when I got it finished, I had to get it painted to finish it off, and he painted it, and I gave him the car. It was a good trade for me. This is another Jaguar, late model Jaguar, little Chrysler. I had to put a transmission in this thing. So let me see. I guess out of all the cars in here, the only ones I had to put an engine in was the Packard, this car here, the MG over there, I had to put an engine in that. Oh, let's see. And the Oakland, and this little pink car. These are the cars that I had to take the engine apart and put an engine in it. And this car here, this thing sat outside under a tree for I don't know how long when they got it here, and the engine was completely full of water. I pulled the dipstick, and water shot out of the dipstick, and it was rusted up just as bad as that Packard back there that was laying in the road, are buried in the road. And I had to blow it apart with everything I had. Sledgehammers. I couldn't even use real hammers. I had to use sledgehammers to knock the pistons out of it. And I mean, it was a fight to get it apart. But I got it apart and got it running. And the carburetor on it is a really strange looking carburetor. That was in pieces, and it was missing a lot of the pieces, the floats, the jets, some of the needle valves. So I just started scavenging around, and I got I think I used a Holly. No, it wasn't a Holly. It was a Carter and a quarter jet as parts for the carburetor on this. It's a 2-barrel updraft carburetor. And I had to solder things together and drill holes and extend needle valves and grind them on the grinder and make things work. I had to do things that you just would not do. But this car here, as bad as it was, I think this car runs better than any car in this place here. Starts every time, goes down the road sort of like a tank, but it goes down the road. And we haven't had a lick of trouble with the engine. And it's been, I guess, about 5-6 years since I did this car. And he drives them down the road, not too far. And, you know, so it's a driver, you know, in-town driver. Wouldn't get on the highway and go anywhere, and I wouldn't try to do 35, 40 miles an hour in it. But, you know, and the interior's, you know, rough. But overall, it's not a bad car. He wanted side mounts, so I took the side mounts off a fore fender and cut them off and put them on this car. So I put the side mount pockets in it. But, yeah, this is not a bad car for what it is. It's, you know, he didn't spend any money on getting any of these cars fixed. So, you know, we're doing it on, he's doing it on a shoestring. You know, if I need a set of points, sometimes he wants me to make a set of points. I mean, you just don't do these kind of things, but if he wants me to make a set of points and I can find enough stuff that I can butcher a set of points in something, that's what I'm going to do. It's easier to do that than to try to fight and get the parts, because sometimes it's a fight. Not to get the parts, just to fight. All right, so this is what I do when I go to work. I get to see this stuff and listen to this stuff all day long. And of course, he's got a lot of cars outside scattered here and there, some over at the other boat yard that are outside. I didn't take any videos of, because those are really sort of way back burner stuff. So, this is it. This is all I got for you. And this is what I do when I go to work. If I ain't busting a boat, working on a boat, I'm rebuilding an engine for a car, or trying to get a car running, or trying to keep all these cars running. And when they sit and running on kerosene, it gets rough. All right, guys. So, and until I do something very interesting, which I never will do, but I'll see y'all later. Bye.